Back after 2 weeks. We definitely missed doing the show. I myself was on vacation in Las Vegas, and Joe, I think you were either in Ibiza or London. I'm not sure where.
I was on. Actually, it was domestic. It was Atlanta. I was in Atlanta, Georgia,
Atlanta.
doing some
Nice.
fun stuff.
You have a good time out there?
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Good food. Jeez, I ate so much good food with a lot of
Nice.
Cajun spice.
Yeah. Las Vegas was great as well, and obviously great food, but
Did you win
buffet
money?
steakhouses. No, I always lose. I always lose. My girl always wins. Like it's the yin and yang. I guess we balance each other out. Like I always lose.
My wife's the same way. She's like, I hate gambling, but the minute she steps into a casino, she wins. I'm like, how do you hate this? How do you hate this?
Yeah, I know, right? I did win on roulette a little bit, but then I lost the rest on slots. So chasing
Oh,
bonuses.
roulette.
Yeah.
It's so funny you said roulette because I think that's like the theme of our show today, right?
Oh yes, it is. Today, well, before we jump into it, just do some quick updates on the channel itself. I know you guys have noticed that the videos have been coming up every Friday, once a week. I know we've been trying to work up to 3 week. It's taking a bit longer for people to record videos than I initially thought. So I'm putting more people into production, creating more videos. So we will definitely start upping that up to where our next goal is to get to 2 a week. But it's been going really well. We've noticed the views are up, subscribers are up, everything is up. So big thank you to everybody for watching. I know we promised the videos for a long time and it took a while, but we are at that point where you're going to consistently see at least 4 videos a month as far as the recorded training goes, and it'll just keep going. Tomorrow will be Illustrator, and then beginner, and then Illustrator Advanced after that. And then we also have a cybersecurity class that's coming up, and then I have a whole bunch of videos in production currently. So you'll be seeing a lot of updates to some of our more popular videos as they were created a little while ago, to give you guys a more current version. But you'll be seeing tons of new videos all upcoming, and we already have them in the can. So we're just getting them scheduled right now. So, and then also we did reach 200,000, I think. And I don't know if we covered that last time. It's because we were off the 2 weeks, but I want to thank everyone that's been watching and subscribing and liking. It really does help. It improves our metrics and everything like that, and it actually turns into revenue that helps us to be able to produce these videos for everybody and to make this free training available to everybody in the world. Again, it's one of our beliefs as a company that everybody deserves access to corporate training. Like you shouldn't be iced out if you're unemployed or anything like that. You deserve access to get in there to get the skills you need to get a job. So thank you to everybody for supporting our mission.
Yeah, we're at 205. I think it's
Yeah,
amazing.
205. Yeah, it's been definitely seen a big uptick since we put the Adobe programs up there. I didn't realize how popular that was going to be with everybody, but they definitely have been very popular, especially Photoshop. I did not realize how popular Photoshop was, but it's doing great. So
Yeah,
again, thank you everybody for helping out with the channel.
everybody wants to create their own Star Wars scene. All right, and Photoshop is the best way to do that. So no, I'm just kidding. No, but yeah,
I've seen a lot of people ask for posters.
oh
Like,
wow, really?
yeah, like how do I make posters? So that's been a lot of comments and a lot of emails I've been getting is about, how can we, and if you guys want to learn how to make posters, we do have the InDesign videos up. That's what InDesign was made for, was to create flyers, posters, and stuff like that. So quick shout out to that video. That's definitely the one you want to go to. Photoshop, while you can do everything in Photoshop, it's really best if you keep it as a Photoshop as for editing photos, and then for InDesign and Illustrator to build out these larger scale projects that people have been asking about doing it all in Photoshop. It's better to use InDesign and Illustrator, as you'll get much more features and much more functionality, and you'll be able to produce much more professional looking documents. So just a FYI on that, guys, because I've been getting a lot of emails and comments about that.
Awesomeness. What's our next segment? Oh wait, yeah, it's the mug.
It's the mugs, man. How can you forget about the mugs? I'm usually the one that forgets about the mugs.
I don't even have a mug. I thought I would do something a little different today. So Ben has his mug, I believe, but me.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. You go ahead.
It's
Hey, nice.
yeah, and it's squishy, and so when you're at work and you're like, it helps. It does. It helps. But
Does it have a name?
I'm gonna make one up right now. Squishy. There we go.
Squishy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Super
And I think I've
squishy.
had this mug on the show before. It's just I'd rather be in bed, with a little smiling face. And I mean, I love you guys every here on all our subscribers and everything like that. But like today was a rough morning waking up. So
It felt that way for me too. I think it's because it's really cloudy here. I don't know if it's the same for you, Ben, but I find when there's like so many clouds in the sky, it reminds me of rain, which we're in dire need of here in California,
yeah,
but it never rains.
yeah. No, I have the same. I pretty much have the same climate as you,
Yeah.
except it does get way hotter out here. But I'm only 12 miles away, man. It's not like I'm on the other
Oh,
side.
okay, yeah. It always feels like you're so much farther because of the video. I'm like, oh, we're on two different sides of the world.
Yeah.
We're only
Uh,
5 minutes away from each other.
yeah.
Um, awesome. Well, yeah. I mean, let's spin the wheel. So today we thought of what are we gonna do as a topic, right? And then me and Ben came up with, well, why don't we do a bunch of topics on a wheel? We spin it, and then whatever it lands on, we just do that topic. Um, so we're gonna try this out and see if it works. I think it will.
Yeah.
We created this spin the wheel from bonus.com, which I just Googled it and it came up. So thanks, Bonus.
Yeah.
Gotta
No
give
paid
you
advertising here. Just
yeah, there's no paid advertising, but
we
thank
just
you
like your service. That's all.
guys. So yeah, let's do this. Let's do a share.
All right. You want to share your screen? And just oh yeah, Meredith, the clouds keep us sleepy. Yes, they definitely do. Can definitely like I usually when I wake up, I'm usually like right, but when it's clouds, definitely same thing. It's like it's not happening. All right, let's get to the wheel. All right.
All right, so we have a couple of things. I'll just name them off real quick. We have PowerPoint. I would teach the Zoom sections, which will really make it more interactive as a presentation. I have Excel conditional formatting, where I'll show you how to create custom conditional formats, not just using Microsoft's pre-default. I have Word, where we can turn on the developer tab and actually start to make forms. And then we have Planner, which will help us to manage projects. I'll show you a tidbit on that. Power Query, which is merging data. With Power Query, it's really amazing when you have two separate uh, files of data and you just want to combine them because it's going to make more sense to do so. And then last but not least, Visio, which we've never really touched base on. So I thought, why not throw it in there for creating a workflow? I don't know what we're going to get, so I'm just going to shuffle it around a little more just to make this as,
Random as possible.
random. Yeah, just as random as it can be. Hopefully you can hear my sound. And here we go.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. And it's I don't know. Oh, Power Query, merging data. All right.
All right,
Let's
we're doing
go.
Power Query merging data. And I'll remove this one so that we can use the same wheel next time. So maybe we'll, maybe not next episode, but I'll keep this wheel so that we can get one of these topics going forward. But with that said, let's do some Power Query. So with Power Query is used out of the Power Suite. So Power BI, Power Query, Power Pivots. It's a powerful tool, which is why it says Power, and it helps us to take data and transform it for what we need it to be used for. So in Power BI, we like to visualize data. What a lot of people don't know though is that you don't have to use Power BI to use Power Query. You could just simply use Excel because it actually has Power Query built within it. So with that said, I'm going to open up and give you a nice scenario here. I'm going to pretend I'm the boss because, well, it makes me feel good inside. So um, let's say, for instance, that I had a mandatory meeting, right? And I wanted everyone that I had on the list to actually attend that meeting. And if they didn't attend the meeting, they were in trouble unless they let me know prior to, which they didn't. So in my Power Query, I have these two things. I have an attendance list for that meeting that was mandatory. And if I open it up here, the way that I planned this out was that if they showed up, I put an X in the attendance section here. So Fabio, for instance, showed up. Fabio did the right thing. But then we got to Giran, and well, Giran didn't show up. Gabriel didn't show up. Gabriella didn't show up. Uh, Adiana didn't show up. And I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, there has to be some sort of consequence for them. So I'm going to give them a personal call because I'm the boss. And I'm going to say, listen, next time it's a mandatory meeting and I tell you it's mandatory, you got to show up. Okay. So that's the scenario that's going on right now. Now, with that said, the problem is that even though I have the attendance list in this file here, and I thought I did a great job, the problem is this, is that all the contact information is in this contacts list. So if I open this up, you'll notice that it has all of the employees. So not even the employees that I invited to the party, but all of them across the entire board, which happens, right? We probably have some sort of employee list with that information. So what I need to do now is I need to figure out a way that I can find these people in this list, pull their phone number, and then not only that, but filter it down so I only see the people that didn't attend. Now, I'm sure you're thinking of a bunch of ways to do this, but I can do this more quickly in Power Query because what Power Query does is it focuses on the ETL. So what is ETL? Well, ETL is going to be extracting the data into Power Query, transforming that data to be what I want it to look like, and then loading it back into Excel so I can further analyze it. All right, so you'll hear ETL a lot amongst people who use Power Query or do a lot of querying, a lot of SQL as well, or even Access. So what we're going to do is I'm going to close these two out and I'm going to load them into a Power Query. Now to do this, I'm just going to open up Excel just by itself, blank. We'll do a blank workbook, so we'll put the new list in here. Now to actually get to Power Query, we're going to have to go to the data tab because we're dealing with a lot of data. So we're going to head over to the data tab here. And once we get into that data tab, you're going to see all the way to the left here is get and transform data, which is part of that ET, right? Extract and transform data. Now I could get the data from so many different places, whether I want to get it from a table or range that's already in my Excel. I can even get data from the web. So maybe I want to go to my favorite store that I shop at, for instance, Nike. And if their data is public, I can take all of the Nike shoes, pull that information, and then I can like do a query on the shoes that I wear and see the pricing. It's so amazing that they allow that. But the company has to have their data public. If they have private data, then of course you can't access it. And then also, if you click into get data, and let's say I wanted to, I don't know, maybe from a file, you can get it from a text, an XML, a JSON, a PDF, SharePoint folder. So if you have it in SharePoint, Power BI, right? Works perfect. Azure, all different databases here. And they do have another one that's newer in your Power BI where you can actually take a picture, like a snapshot of the data, and it automatically transfers it into a data set for you. Pretty cool. It's in beta form. So if you're a Power BI user, go check that out. Super awesome. But yeah, it's in beta form. So we all know what that means. There's going to be some bugs. But for this one, I'm just going to get the file from a workbook because, well, it's an Excel workbook. That's where that attendance list is, and that's where the contacts list is, of course. So I'll go to get data from file from workbook. Now, I'm going to just simply go search for that file once it pops up here. And it is on my desktop. And there it is. So I'm going to pull, you know what? We'll pull the attendance list first. Why not? And I'll import it. So right now,
hey, just real quick, you might check your mic volumes real quick. Some people are saying that it's a little low.
No worries. Let's take a look. And you know what? I actually prepared for this. Here we go. This is going to be really fun to test out now.
Oh, I definitely hear it there.
Oh, yeah. Can you all hear me now?
Yeah, that's definitely
a lot better.
Yeah, it's louder.
Awesome. So I have my new microphone that I got from New Jersey because that's originally where I was from, and I had a bunch of stuff in storage that I actually decided to grab. So this is pretty cool. But I'm glad that everyone can hear me now. And then just keep me up to date on that. Okay.
Of course.
So moving forward, and hopefully the mic's not in the camera, but moving forward, what it's going to do is it's going to take that attendance list data and it's going to put it into the navigator. And this is where we can select the data that we want. So for instance, the only worksheet in this file is January 12th event, which was when that actual event took place. And you'll see here that we have the information I want. Now, we've just extracted it, so we've done the E, but now we have to transform it. And a lot of people will click on load, which is the last step. Right now, I haven't done anything to this data. It's not working for me. So I'm going to actually click on transform data before I click on load. Loading it will just be like if you opened it up in Excel. So when I click transform data, it's now going to pull it into the Power Query. And there it is, Power Query. Now, if you've never used Power Query before, no worries. It's a Microsoft product. So as you can see, we still have a ribbon. We have the tabs. So it's very familiar feel. But there is a couple of differences. Like, for instance, you don't have an undo bar. So if you do something like, if I remove this entire column and I'm like, oopsie, what do I do now? And you try Control Z or you go look for undo, you won't see it. Instead, you're going to see applied steps over here. And you'll see that I removed those columns. And if I want to get them back, I would just click on this little X icon and it would bring that column back. So that's your undo right there. And I would just click that and we're back. So now that we have this, the first thing that I noticed is it pushed my headers down. So it did attendee and attendance. And now it says column 1, column 2. So what I want to do is I actually want to use the first row as my headers. And when I click on this button, boom. Okay, so we're back to normal. Feeling good. Now I have to go grab that other file, right? Because I only have the attendance file. Now I need the context file. So to do that, all you have to do is go all the way over to the right and you'll see new query and you'll see new source and you'll just click file. And once again, it's an Excel workbook. So I'm going to click on Excel. It's going to ask me, where is it? I know it's right here under contacts and I'm going to import it. So once again, it brings it into the navigator. It's going to show me my worksheet here. I'm going to give it a click. And I'm going to click OK. Now that same issue happened, and the reason why this happens is it pushes the headers down so it can calculate what exactly the column format is, so whether it's a text or a number. Now for this one, I'm going to use that same button, use first row as headers. There we go, it looks good. Now it does say that this is ABC. The reason why is because it's a phone number, so there's dashes, so the format's going to look like that. Totally fine, nothing you have to worry about. But the good news is now we have both. We have our event and we have our connections. Now, out of these two, what I want to do is I actually want to merge them together because essentially what I want is one list of data that tells me the attendee, their attendance, and then I want their phone number right here. So I want to merge that together. The problem is that first off, this event only invited a couple of my people here, 40. But my connections has, well, hundreds, almost 200 different connections here because of the fact that it's my entire company. So what I have to do is I have to join this data in a specific way. So the first thing is we're going to click on the event query. Now you can rename these if you're like, I want to, have it looking a little different. You could just double click here and you can name this the event. And then you can name this contacts, just to make it easier if you wanted to, which I'll do. So I'm going to click on the event query now with my event information, and I'm going to go over to merge queries. Now, when you merge these queries, there's two ways to merge it. You can either merge it together and use the events query to add on to this, or you can click the little drop down and merge as a new query, which means there will be a third now query here, which would be called, you could call it whatever you want, but I might call it full info or facts, whatever, you like to. So for me, I think I'm just going to merge it because I don't care if, the events gets messed up. I'm not saving this query in any way. So I'm just going to click merge queries. And it's going to pop up this dialog box here. It's going to say, okay, select a table and a matching column to create a merge table. Now that's important. There has to be some sort of connection to both queries, which there is, right? Because in this one we have who attended. And if we select the other one, which is contacts, we have the people and their contact information. So I already know there's a match in these two tables, attendee and person. The problem is that for the event, as I said before, there was 40 people out of the company that were invited. But in my contacts list, there's 160 different contacts. So how do I do that? How is it going to match from the first to the second? Well, it's actually called a join kind. And if you look at the bottom here, that's the next option is what kind of join do you want? And if you take a look, I'm choosing what's known as a left outer. Now, you don't have to memorize these things because in parentheses, it tells you that all from the first, so all of those 40, matching all from the second. So it's only going to pull those 40, right? Now, we could have done it the other way. We could have done a right outer, which is all from the second matching the first, which would make no sense because there's 160 and there's 40. So that wouldn't work. Or just everything matching from both, which is a full outer, an inner, a left ante, or a right ante. So based off of how your data is set up, you would definitely choose maybe something different than I would. But for me, what makes most sense is what's known as a left outer. Now what I'm going to do is see at the bottom that the selection matches 40 of the 40 rows from the first table. So I know it's only pulling those 40 people out of that 160, which is perfect. That's what I want. And I'm going to click OK. And there we go. Now I know it's going to look a little weird at first. I get it. What it ended up doing was this. It took this entire contacts table, which has the names and the phone numbers, and it put it right here in this one column. So right now it says table, table, table. It doesn't really help us out in any way. But to actually extract just the phone number, it's very similar to filtering. What you're going to do is you're going to click on this little, I like to say, I guess, double-sided arrow. And when you click on it, it's going to give you the option to choose what information from this table you want. Now, there's only two things I could choose, which is the name and the phone number. But why would I choose the name when we already have the name here, right? It would just be a repeat and it would be a waste of a column. So I'll deselect that. I'm then going to make sure that the phone number is stuck there and I'm going to click OK. And now look at that. We have the phone numbers, which is perfect. That's what we wanted. Now, the last thing that we need to worry about is anyone that has an X actually showed up. So why do I need their information? I don't. And you'll see on the headers, we automatically have filters and they work the same way they do in Excel. So if I click that drop down and I go over, I'll see X. I'm going to deselect it because I only want the blank spaces. Click OK. Now I have the list of people that didn't show. Now, I don't know about you, but there's no need for this blank column now. So I'm going to click on the column and remove it. And now we have a perfect list of people I need to call who did not show up to the event, who I'm going to fire. No, I'm just kidding. I won't fire them, but I'll tell them next time they have to show up. So as you can see, Power Query is really amazing at taking two different data sets, combining them, and getting the information that you want to get out of it. And then what we're going to do is, after we've just extracted those two data sets, transformed them into one, the last thing we have to do is close and load. So there's the whole process. Now it's going to load up into this Excel workbook, and I'm going to make my phone calls. Now, when it loads up, you will see two things. It's contacts right here. So make sure that you know, if you're like, oh, it didn't work, it did work. You just have to go to the next one, event, because that's where we made those query changes. And there you go. Now you make your phone calls, you're all set, and that is the power of Power Query. And I hope you all enjoyed that. That's it. That's and I think it was just in the perfect timing too, right?
It was. I thought we were going to spin the wheel more.
No more wheels spinning until next time. Until next time.
Well, you know, I just got back from Vegas, so I was just chasing it. You know, just keep spinning that wheel. If anyone has been to the Encore, you know they have that big giant wheel right when you walk down from your room and everything like that and get to the Wynn Casino. They have that giant one. I always see people playing, but I've never been drawn to it. I don't really see the odds in it. But anyways, thank you, Joe. the Power Query tips. And then just some quick updates on the channel. I know we do this at the beginning of the show, but also, man, my train just totally derailed my thought train. I had it all planned out that I was going to jump in here and say exactly what I needed to say, and it just completely went off the cliff there. But the we do have a 200K event coming up for everybody. I know we hit 200K a while back. We've had a ton of stuff happening at Learnit itself. We've launched a new TMS and also a new website. So I myself have been very involved in both those projects. So I've just been busy doing all of that. So I will be getting we'll be kind of putting together that 200K event coming forward. We want to make it something special for everybody. You know, like we're going to try to have, I think, as many instructors as possible to have on to just kind of maybe do like a huge live Q&A session and answering any questions you guys have. Once we get that set up and everything like that, we'll get it scheduled way in advance, and we do encourage everyone to start sending in. We'll start encouraging everyone to send in your questions and everything like that. So, and we'll answer everything live. You know, bring your worksheets, any Excel problems you've been having, stuff like that. It's going to be something along those lines. Also, with how popular the Adobe series is, I'm going to see if we can get David Casuto, who did the recordings for all those. I want to see if we can get him on. I know there was a topic of e-publishing from the one of the videos that someone mentioned that we didn't get covered. It's something that we tried to cover really quickly. We just ran out of time. So maybe we can have him on to discuss EPUB on Photoshop. And then we were supposed to have Conrad Moore on, but he sent me an email this week that he wouldn't be able to make it. So maybe we'll reschedule him to a later date. And again, I think that was on organizational justice. And then, so next week we'll try to get David on for Photoshop. And then the week after that, we'll find out we had somebody scheduled. They're not around. So, and then I think that is it, unless anyone has any quick questions or maybe something that we could answer. I think it was just the microphone today. And I know we were off for 2 weeks. So, you know, and we kind of did this show last minute announcement, but we just wanted to get back out there to let you guys, know the health of the channel and also help you guys out with any tips and tricks that we could possibly have. And again, any ideas you guys have for videos or anything like that, or any programs you want us to cover, drop them into the chat and the comments on the videos. I do go through all those every single day, and I do call a list. I have a huge list of topics to record, and if it's something that maybe we missed, it definitely gets added to the list, and we start looking for instructors to start recording those videos. So definitely your recommendations are definitely heard, and they definitely turn into action. So like the Adobe ones would have never happened if people didn't mention it in the comments and stuff like that. So you guys really help.
Matters.
What we do. Yeah. Feedback definitely
matters. It does matter. And we'll do, if you like the spin the wheel segment, we'll do it again throughout a couple months. We have a couple more topics on that wheel. So we'll spin the wheel every time and then cover that topic. And
I guess that's like 5 shows to go. Yeah, 5 more shows to go. Yeah, and then also another major change that you'll be seeing, this will affect our Patreon members, is that our Learn It Anytime site, we are moving it to a new hosting location. It's going to be a lot better. We're going to integrate the certificates completion into there, and also the exams. And but that's just going to be the first launches with the videos and the certs. It'll be more broken up compared to our videos on our channel, but it's going to be all ad free. I know we have a ton of ads on our videos. It's how we pay for everything, guys. So we got to play them. Unfortunately, I wish we got paid more for it, but that's just how it works. So, anyways, but that'll affect our Patreon members. The certificates will still work the same way for the bronze members. Those who have access to that, you'll still be doing the same process. It'll be our silver and gold patrons. You'll be upgraded to the new site. We are building it out on Teachable. Just if you guys know of Teachable, that's where it's going to be hosted. And so if you have that experience there, you know how great it is with Teachable. They make it real easy for creators like us to put our stuff up there and to make, and we can make it a lot better. And we've brought in instructional designer and UX users and everything like that to have input on how this is going to be. So that's another major change that you guys will see on our ad-free streaming service. And again, that's going to affect mainly our Patreon members, but also you can just go there and sign up as well. And I would recommend everyone kind of hold off until we get the new one launched, but we're looking at an August launch for that. Just an FYI, guys. Other than that, I think that is it as far as announcement go. And then, as usual, like, subscribe, comment down below. It does really help out a lot. Every single like and subscribe helps us tremendously. It's a ton of help, and thank you for everyone that has done that already. You guys make it all happen. So thank you again. Anything else, Joe?
I think that's it. Yeah, no.
Right.
Yeah, thanks so
Yep.
much. 205 subscribers. I
Yes,
can't wait for the
thank you,
event.
everybody.
We're just gonna have a good time, and I hope everyone has a great rest of the week. Tomorrow's Friday. Maybe it's payday, maybe it's not. But you'll yeah, we're almost there.
Today.
And it's a 3-day weekend, I think.
Yeah, 3-day weekend. Everyone enjoy your 3-day weekend. Well, everyone in the States, enjoy your 3-day weekend.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
happy
yeah.
Canada Day to everyone in Canada. I think it's today. It's same general idea. It's an Independence Day for Canada. So happy Canada Day to all the Canadians. I myself am a Can-Ammer. So what you call it? Citizenship in both.
Oh, nice. There we go. Dual citizenship.
Yeah. All right. Everyone have a great
Bye, everyone.
day.